So I think now we will move to the last, and I think in the chat box we have also received many questions related to this question about the school fee, and I think just I want to add 2 points to this so that a panelist can reflect on. One is that private schools are charging fee or asking for the fee while when the schools are not open, and therefore they have started the online education so that there is some engagement with the children. But at the same time, what we have also been hearing that private schools have begun to cut the salary of the teachers and their staff, as well as many of the teachers have been sacked because they don't have money to support the teacher and the staff. So in this situation, both from the teacher's point of view and also from the parents' point, understanding how it needs to be done and what is happening in your state vis-a-vis school fee, primarily with the private schools we are talking about. I would request Ashok ji to share more on it. He has done a great work in Delhi. What are the way forward? How do we need to look at this issue?
देखिए, ये जो प्राइवेट स्कूल और फीस, ये तो फीस का इशू पहले से ही क्राइसिस में चल रहा है। लगभग 23 साल से ये इसका प्रॉब्लम बढ़ता ही जा रहा है। और अब जो है इस पेंडेमिक के अंदर, लॉकडाउन के अंदर, कोरोना क्राइसिस के अंदर और भी ग्रेव, इट हैज एंटर्ड इनटू ए ग्रेवेस्ट आई थिंक क्राइसिस नाउ व्हेन स्कूल्स आर नॉट फंक्शनिंग, और जो पेरेंट्स हैं उनका अर्निंग लेवल बहुत रिड्यूस हो गया है। ऑलमोस्ट many parents don't have even money to feed themselves. This is the situation. And then जो है कहाँ से फीस दे। और तीसरी प्रॉब्लम इसके अंदर जो है वो है फ्रॉम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ द स्कूल, दे आर सेइंग कि उनका टीचर्स का, एम्प्लॉइज का सैलरी भी है। तो हमें एक तो सबसे पहले ये समझना चाहिए कि ये प्राइवेट स्कूल का जो प्रॉब्लम है, जो इस टाइम ग्रेवेस्ट हो गया है, दिस इज ऑल बिकॉज वी हैव लेट डाउन आवर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल सिस्टम। और इसीलिए जो गवर्नमेंट स्कूल सिस्टम है वही, मतलब वहां से ही प्रॉब्लम है और वही से आंसर है इसका। तो हमें ये आज फिर से समझना पड़ेगा कि क्या हमें गवर्नमेंट स्कूल सिस्टम को जो है इम्प्रूव करना चाहिए, और अगर नहीं करेंगे तो ये आने वाले वक्त में और भी क्राइसिस बढ़ सकते हैं। अभी सवाल ये है कि जो बजट स्कूल्स हैं, जो लगभग 85% जो है हिंदुस्तान में बजट स्कूल्स हैं, छोटे, जहाँ 200 रुपए, 300 रुपए, 400 रुपए, 500 फीस ली जाती है, वो स्कूल की हालत तो बहुत ही खराब हो गई है। उसमें ऑलमोस्ट 80% तो स्कूल वालों ने एम्प्लॉइज ही निकाल दिए, टीचर्स ही निकाल दिए, और 80% पेरेंट्स ने उनको जो है फीस दी ही नहीं है। और इंटरेस्टिंग एस्पेक्ट, वन मोर इंटरेस्टिंग एस्पेक्ट है कि पेरेंट्स ने वॉलेंटरली अपने बच्चों को ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन से भी विड्रॉ कर लिया है, क्योंकि जब वो ऑनलाइन आएंगे तो टीचर बोलेगा फीस जमा करो, तो ऑनलाइन से भी विड्रॉ कर लिया है। तो ये डिपेंड क्राइसिस में चला गया है। और जहां तक जो बिगर स्कूल्स हैं, जो सो कॉल्ड बिग स्कूल्स हैं, वहां पर कुछ पेरेंट्स ने जमा कर दिया है, लेकिन मेजोरिटी जो है वो दे आर स्टिल अनेबल टू पे। इवन मिडिल क्लास, जो अपर थोड़ा मिडिल क्लास है, वो भी सफर कर रहा है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोगों का बिजनेस भी बैठ गया है। तो ऐसी स्थिति में जो है व्हाट इज द सोल्यूशन ये है कि अभी तो हम लोगों का कहना ये है कि कम से कम 3 महीने का फीस जो है वो तो आप बिल्कुल वेव ऑफ कर दो, 3 महीने का, अप्रैल, मई, जून, एंड लेट अस रिव्यू इट इन जुलाई, क्या पोजीशन होता है। और हमारा कहना ये भी है कि जो मेजोरिटी स्कूल्स है, जो बिग स्कूल्स हैं, उन्होंने पिछले 20 साल में इतना पैसा कमाया है कि अगर वो चाहे तो 1 साल पूरे जो है एम्प्लॉइज को, बिना फीस लिए हुए एम्प्लॉइज को अपनी सैलरी दे सकते हैं। तो वो लोग जो है वो इससे बचना चाह रहे हैं और ये प्रेशर क्रिएट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि टीचर्स को सैलरी देना है। तो अभी राइट नाउ यही है कि 3 महीने का जो है वो वेव ऑफ होना चाहिए, नंबर 1। दूसरा ये कि कोई फीस इंक्रीज नहीं होनी चाहिए इस साल के अंदर, बिल्कुल टोटली नो इंक्रीज। एंड थर्ड ये है कि जब स्कूल खुलेंगे उस वक्त जो है, उस वक्त ये पेरेंट्स के साथ बैठकर डिसाइड करें कि फीस कैसे सेटल करनी है, जो कि अगर ये नहीं करेंगे तो बहुत सारे जो प्राइवेट स्कूल्स हैं वो मुझे लगता है कि वर्ज ऑफ क्लोजर है, क्लोज हो जाएंगे, और बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स जो है क्लोज नहीं भी होंगे तो बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स अपने बच्चों को विड्रॉ कर लेंगे। अब सवाल ये है कि पेरेंट फिर से फंस गया, पहले तो गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में ना जाके प्राइवेट में आया, अब प्राइवेट से मजबूरी में निकालेगा तो जाएगा कहाँ है, और गवर्नमेंट स्कूल स्टिल नॉट फंक्शनिंग वेल। तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा क्राइसिस है। मुझे लगता है कि नेशनल लेवल पे हम लोगों को इसके ऊपर चर्चा करनी चाहिए एंड वी शुड कम टू सम कंक्लूजन। थैंक यू। हेलो।
Thank you, Ashok ji. Can I request Praveer ji to share his reflection on private school fee and what is happening in West Bengal on this?
It is almost like what Ashok ji has just now told. The situation is almost similar, especially when we see not entirely in West Bengal, but only in Kolkata, where the big schools are there, big private schools, they are actually charging fees, even in spite of the fact that our minister, education minister and chief secretary, they have been repeatedly requesting the private schools to not to take the fees, not to and waive the fees for the 3 months, as Ashok ji has said. This has been requested by the government only, but in spite of the fact, the guardians were pressurized to deposit the fees. Now, the one unique thing has happened in the meantime here in our state. The guardians of the private schools, they have really mobilized themselves against this pressure, and they have been almost protesting every day. But now they have a platform like West Bengal Private Schools Guardians Forum, and they have opened a Facebook page also. And we see there are some many thousands of guardians. They are actually reflecting their views in the Facebook, and this is being so much. I mean, this United Action has been so sound and vigorous that Chief Minister also said that she is going to sit with his guardians very soon. So let's see what happens. But it's true that the big schools can really pay the fees to the teachers, even in spite of the fact that they cannot, if they don't take the fees from the students, they can easily manage to pay their teachers, but they are not doing that, and they are pressurizing. And most importantly, now we see that the DPS school, they have actually started selling the mask also from the school, and those masks are branded. I mean, branded. The school's emblem have been put into the mask, and they are selling it. So now it's really a kind of business we see in the education sector. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Praveer ji. Anil Pradhanji, can we have your view on a school fee and how the private schools are functioning in the state?
Actually, Agrawal ji and Praveer ji have already told about the situation. Here in Orissa, we have few big schools, few big private schools, but most of the schools are small private schools. If they will not, I think if they will not collect fees from the children, it will be difficult for them to manage the schools. So what will happen, I don't know, but private school association is getting stronger also, and they are fighting at the high court level, and the government is remained silent. And once our chief minister declared that, not declared, he appealed all the government private school that 3 months, so fees should not be collected for 3 months, but no guidelines and nothing, no instruction has been issued by the government. So they are not serious. Actually, government is not serious about these private schools, because as you know, most of our bureaucrats and the politicians, they send their children to private school only. That's why they have a soft corner for them. And this is about the situation in Odisha. but parents association are demanding that there should not be fee because school may not open in near future. That's why they will take admission of children and why they will collect fees from right now. So that's why they are opposing this admission issue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anil ji. I think I wish to thank each of the panelists for share their reflection on these three critical issues. In the chat box, we have received a lot of reflections, and in fact, sort of aligning with what is mentioned, and there are also a few questions that have come up. So I will take only a few critical questions that have been shared by our participant to the panelists. I think you can decide which question you want to take, but I think they can be, each one of you can reflect on that. Ashok ji, one of the critical point has come in when you were talking about the budget school, how they are going to run if they don't charge fees. So that is one question has come in because it is also a livelihood for many of the people, and especially in a rural context. And what happens to the children who will not be part of a budget schools when they are closed? So that is a one question people are asking. And other question is related to what you have been talking about, the zero academic year. What happens to the children if we declare the zero academic year? Do you see it's going to be a dropout and children engaging in a child labor and other activities? So these are the two critical issues have come from participants. I would request you to again reflect both from the legal part of it and also how we can address as a group.
So I think what is in the interest of the child, we should see nothing else. We should not see anybody's interest except the children's interest. And the children's interest is that they should not be sent to school in such a bad situation when more and more corona cases are coming up, and governments have literally failed to handle them. And we know all over country, barring some south states, that what is the status of health services. So they should not be. Now the question is, merely because they are not going to school, will they become the child labor? No, I don't think. Merely because of the reason that children not going to school because schools are closed. अब हम लोग 2 महीने की छुट्टी होती है, फिर 15-20 दिन की फिर छुट्टी होती है, तो we should let us take it कि भाई बच्चे 2 महीने की छुट्टी या 12 महीने की छुट्टी हो गई है. How it makes a difference of that? So I don't think that merely because schools are closed, child labor will increase. I don't think child labor will increase in the context when lakhs and lakhs of poor migrant labor have migrated from cities to some other places. That will result. My estimate is that suppose schools are open, then in government schools there will be a reduction of enrollment from 30 to 35%. There is possibility of reduction because of this migration. And then at the same time, in the private schools also, there will be a reduction in enrollment from 5 to 10% for so many reasons, because many parents will not be able to afford fees also. That will one of the reasons. And then migration also. There are certain children who have parents have been migrated along with the children, and they were studying in the private school, like EWS students. Many EWS students under Right to Education Act, taking education in private schools, their parents have migrated along with the children. If they don't come back, there will be dropout. So this is one part. Second part is budget schools. Budget schools, we are always opposed to these budget schools, right from day one. So many NGOs are supporting it for whatever reason, I don't know. But we have been always opposing because they are not fulfilling the norms. Basic norms they don't fulfill. 85% of the budget school don't fulfill the basic norms. Now 2010 Act, now we are in 2020. They have not been able. They don't pay proper salaries to the staff. Eh? So these, according to me, all these budget school must be closed. Must be closed, and all children should be shifted to government system. Now again, question comes to that we have to improve the government system. There is no other choice as far as we have seen these private hospitals and public hospitals not functioning, private hospitals not responding to the problem, and what is happening? So we have no alternative in both areas, education and health. We have to strengthen our public education system. There is no other way at all. We have to think again, and all of us have to think again in the interest of children and the interest of nation. I think one more question. Hello.
आपकी आवाज अशोक जी थोड़ा ब्रेक हो रही है.
अब आ रही है?
हाँ अभी आ रही है.
हाँ, तो मैं कह रहा हूँ कोई और क्वेश्चन है इसका?
जी सर, पर अभी यही क्वेश्चन है अशोक जी. आई थिंक थैंक यू सो मच. हम अगर कुछ आएगा आपसे फिर कनेक्ट करेंगे.
वेलकम.
Thank you. Anil ji and Prabir ji, there are 2-3 questions that are probably you can reflect on. One question has come, this is also a time to reflect on how do we integrate a digital education as part of a school education, because so far we have primarily depended on a face-to-face. So people have asked, don't you think this is also an opportunity to even train our teachers to use this kind of tools for the future? And second question has come in, if the schools have to be reopened even after 3 and 4 months, in your view, what are the specific steps the state government needs to take, given that a large number of schools are a quarantine center? So these are the 2 big questions have come in. And third, which came in just now, that many of our higher education institutions have declared these 2 semesters as a, where no education will happen. Why can't a school can also decide in a similar way? So these are the 3 critical questions have come up from the participants. I would like you to reflect on that. First Anil ji and then Pravir ji.
एक्चुअली देखिए, अभी जो उड़ीसा का सिचुएशन है, स्कूल बंद होगा, ज्यादा दिन बंद हो जाएगा तो जरूर जो चिल्ड्रन का ड्रॉप आउट हो जाएगा, उनका चाइल्ड लेबर हो जाएंगे, और जो वो सब सिचुएशन है, एंड इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज में वो शामिल हो जाएंगे, वही सिचुएशन है. तो इसलिए हमारा आरटी फ्रॉम तरफ से हमने गवर्नमेंट को भी सजेशन दिया था कि चिल्ड्रन शुड बी एंगेज्ड इन डिफरेंट वेज, इवन इफ इट इज नॉट थ्रू द रेगुलर स्कूल प्रोसेस, but they should be engaged. Otherwise, in Orissa, as you know, we have 23% people belongs to tribal communities, or the children of tribal community and other backward communities will be engaged in this economic activities if they will be not engaged, and child marriage will be promoted, child labor will be promoted like that. That's why we suggested government that government should involve civil society organization and devise some mechanism so that the children, even if they are not coming to school, they will be engaged in a systematic manner. But we don't know what is happening at the government level, because there is absolutely no transparency in the decision making. That is one thing. Then in Odisha, I have already told you that 10,000 schools have been converted into TMC, temporary medical camps. So क्या करा जाएगा वो पता नहीं है, क्या करेगा वो तो अभी तो पूरा खाली नहीं होगा, क्योंकि अभी तो वो जो पशु जी ऑलरेडी टोल्ड that coronavirus patients, that infection is increasing in Orissa and West Bengal right now, because this migrant population are returning to their home. So that is a big problem for Orissa. Then we have residential schools run by STC Development Department. That is also a problem, because the residential school cannot be open right now in near future also. So government have to think. Government has to consult different stakeholders to plan the different things. but it is not responding. Then another issue is about this school closure and merger. If that school closure will happen, then more than 6,000 schools will be closed. Then most of the schools are in tribal area, so the tribal people will be mostly affected, and tribal and disabled and girls, they will be mostly affected. So government should actually organize consultation with teachers union, civil society organization, and other experts, and the medical department also. So these are my views.
मोबाइल पे ना बात कर रहे हैं.
Just to take
Regarding
on from
digital
here,
education, actually, in Odisha, it is not possible because connectivity is a problem, and other things like availability of mobile phone, computer is also.
Sure. Thank you, Anilji. Praveenji, you wanted to say or add
Yeah,
your
yeah,
viewpoint?
exactly.
Yeah, please.
On the online education program, what I feel is that we should not be fully depending on the online education. This could be a supplementary or complementary kind of thing. But in the meantime, what we in our state from RT Forum, we have seen many teachers in the government teachers. They have solely on their own taken some very unique initiative in connecting the students even during the lockdown period. So there are many good practices. Even some CSOs and NGOs, they are also doing the same thing. I mean, connecting with the students in actual life and trying to get in touch with the students physically, keeping this social distancing and other health matters in mind. They are doing that. So I think that should continue. That should continue more vigorously. Teachers should go out to reconnect the students, and they should really find out in our state. Actually, we are doing this survey, the assessment, rapid assessment, with the idea of having an idea that who are the children who are in red zone. Red means, from our point of view, red is dangerous. I mean, they have already decided that they will not turn up in the school once again. And then there are yellow zones, who the parents and the children both are confused. Whether they will continue in education or not, they don't understand. They are totally in confused state. And the green zone, they are better off. I think idea wise and conceptually they are quite better off, that once the school reopens, whenever it is, if it is after 6 months also, they might come back. So we want to really concentrate with the children in the yellow and the red zone who are really becoming dangerous, and those who will definitely be dropping out once the school reopens. So one way of remedial measures we see that if we start connecting the students, those children, and taking the government teachers also along with us, and encouraging them to reach out to the community at in a community hall or somewhere where the physical distance can be maintained in rotation wise in different slots. They can really meet the different students in their of different classes at the community level. Also, they can bring few children to the school also. The schools which are not at all quarantine center, those which have not been converted into quarantine center now, because 50% of the schools are still free from that. So in those areas, the schools also can be used where fewer students can be called up in the schools itself, and they can be assisted with the understanding of the syllabus and coping up with the situation of this lockdown. So that's what we feel. But ongoing, this could be a very good opportunity for the teachers as well as the students, that online education or digital education, they will slowly and gradually they will start coping up with this mechanism also. This should not be just written off.
are already exceeded our time limit that we had set for ourselves, which was about 12:30. We are already in 12:49. But I think all the panelists have shared a very strong perspective and also the ground situation. So for benefits of everybody, I'll just summarize three and four critical points that have come up. I think one of the key recommendation or the reflection has been that digital education and online education is actually not reaching out to all the children, even if reaching out, its impact is not visible. And it's also leading to the stress and all the health problem that Ashokji was highlighting. I think this requires a serious reflection and engagement. If at all, as we move forward, I think what Prabirji has said, we need a blended approach to look at to what extent a digital education could be part of our school system. One point that have come in is that we need to declare this academic year as a zero academic year, and probably we can look at whether it should be done for the primary or secondary or higher secondary. But there is a one strong suggestion from Ashokji, and many of the participants have given their consent to this recommendation. How do we, what happens to children? What do we do with that during the period? That is something to reflect on. Third, I think, which have also thrown something for all of us to think is about the budget school getting closed because parents are not paying fee, and what happens to these who will be leaving the budget school but they're not part of a government school system. I think the last point which is coming very strongly for all of you is that government really need to invest in school education, both for the infra, even if there is a intent to promote a digital education, there has to be devices and instrument. I think this provision is started without any preparation at both government level and the teachers level. Teachers are even not prepared how to handle children when they are in online mode, what kind of hand-holding support needs to go. And the last point, which have been very pertinent, that so far government hasn't engaged neither parent or school management committees or other stakeholder. I think that has to be one of the biggest link, whether we are talking about reopening the school, whether we are talking about promotion of a digital education. It doesn't have a consent of the parents or the school management committee that has been one of the local accountability authority as per the Right to Education Act. I think these are the broad key points our participant and the panelists have also shared. So with this, with the permission of Amrish, I would like to close the webinar of today, and thank you so much for all the panelists for sharing the ground reality and what is happening in each of the state, and also your personal perspective and opinion how we need to address these three critical issues in context of India and the various states. Thank you so much, everybody.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद गीता जी, आपको एक बढ़िया मॉडरेशन के लिए, और अशोक जी, प्रवीर जी और अनिल भाई, आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. एंड एवरीबडी हु पार्टिसिपेटेड इन दिस वेबिनार, आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक एवरीबडी. एक जो सबसे बड़ी बात जो समझ में आ रही है, जिसके लिए हमें जरूर चिंता करने की जरूरत है, वो ये है कि MHRD इज रेगुलरली इन कंसल्टेशन विद the private sector, and most of the digital companies, they are moving around the MHRD and they are suggesting everything to MHRD. They are not consulting with the Teachers Association, they are not consulting MHRD, not consulting with the renowned educationists in this country, and neither they are consulting the educationists nor they are consulting with the activists or most of the NGOs who are working in education sector. They are only consulting with the Rotary Club, with the MOOCs platform, the private sector, and this is threat for the public education system. And we are just we can assume that where we are going in the hand of the private sector. Those who are making profit from the education, those who want education converted into the commodity. So that's the big danger posing big danger is we can look and we can assume in the future. So we have to come together to raise our voices with the Teachers Association also to defend our right to education, to defend public education system in this country. This is the need of our, otherwise we lose our, the education of 70%, more than 80% children who are belonging to marginalized and deprived classes. Thank you.